Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paloma and happy Friday. It is payday and I'm very, very excited. This is a month where I do have 3 paychecks. So this will be the second one. If you're new here, welcome. I've been in a financial journey trying to get my finances under control, and this is gonna be the beginning of my second year, and I actually published my first video in June 17 of 2023, and back then I was stressing a lot, and now I'm not stressing as much, but let's go ahead and jump into the video. This is my January 17th paycheck, and we're going to go ahead. I put a little presentation for us. January 17th, 2025. Again, I'm so happy that we're starting a new year. First off, my income. I did get my paycheck today, and I got a paycheck for $2,000. And then I did go ahead and count how much money I had left in my bank account and how much money I had left in cash. And I have $229 that I'm rolling over from the previous pay period, which really does give us a good amount to work with, thankfully. And the first thing that I do when I take a look at my finances is I go ahead and try to pay myself first. Because it is a new year, we're starting a new quarter, my savings goal for the quarter is $4,250. And you'll see here the first like 5 things I'm trying to tackle. Some of them are going to be recurring throughout the year. Some of them hopefully will finish in this first quarter, saving for them, and then we'll be able to move on to other goals. I am saving for an extra home payment. We're trying to do something new this year where we'll give a payment every 4 months so that we can save on some of that interest. So then the first one will be in April. And I think that's going to be my month. And I'm saving already for that one. I still have to do the math on how much exactly we're going to be giving for that. I think it's like in the 3,000 something, but then we do give extra sometimes. So that's like 4,000 something. And then so I'm just saving 5,000 just to be safe. And then if it doesn't need the whole 5,000, then I'll take it back. That's for the extra home payment that I'm going to be doing in April. Then someone else in my family will do one the next 4 months, and then the next 4 months. So I think it'll be April, August, and December. So we'll give 3 extra payments throughout the year. So that's a payment that I'm saving today for 1,240. Then I have added up all of my like one-time cost for the year and figured out what that number is. And if I divide it by every single month, like if it was a recurring bill, I need to save 130. We have obviously already started the year, and you'll see that the first fee of the year or one-time cost has already been charged for January. So I am like technically behind, but I think still doing this will help me get set up for the beginning of 2026. That was for 130 for the one-time cost that I'm putting towards it. The other thing is I am planning to travel this year. I have 2 trips. One is just like a 1-day thing for a birthday, like 3-day weekend thing for my friend. And then another one is a longer trip to go river rafting in Yellowstone, also a wedding. But that one we have more time to save for. And so I'm going to be putting away 300 towards travel. That travel one includes the wedding gift too. The wedding one, that one is for me. I'm not getting married, but I do want to get married eventually. And so I think I set a goal of saving $2,000 each year so that by the time, I turn 30, I'll have at least some like the very minimum. Yeah. So I'm 27. By the time I'm 30, I have 3 years to save at least $6,000 that can go towards a wedding. And if I save $6,000 and my partner for the wedding, whatever, saves $6,000, then I think we'll have a pretty good $12,000 to be able to play with for the wedding or add towards the honeymoon. I do want to start adding to that, and so that'll be 130 that I'm adding for this paycheck. And then lastly, gifts. As we all know, you get invited to people's parties, and you want to come with something. You also get invited to just like dinners, Friendsgivings, etc. So you want to, bring something up. And so I'm allocating at least $20 towards gifts so that when those do come up, there's already some sinking funds available. And that brings our saving goals to 1,820 for this paycheck. I'm excited that we're able to put that money towards some future goals and some future just kind of cushion. And I'm excited for these. It's going to be fun. And I get to have those guilt-free because I'm already taking them into account. Moving on to the expenses made in January. So it is obviously January 17th, which means we've had at least 3 full weeks in January already. The very first one I made was paying my rent on January 1st, and that was for $1,400. I went ahead and paid my Cox bill, which was $60. I paid my light, which was $82. My brother does share those two bills with me. He's gonna give me his $71 of contribution towards it. Credit card balance for 2024 was 2,423. Again, this normally, like me last year, would have totally been because I went and spent all that money for the holiday craze and all of that. I did not. The 2,100 is for the termites. We did tent our house October, and you have like 60 days to pay it, but the portal thing wasn't working online, but it finally got paid. It got charged to my card. I did have it in savings, and I had moved it from savings to my checkings account in October, but then because of the whole, it just wasn't getting charged, I sent it back towards savings so that I can continue getting that interest and other things, and just so that I wouldn't be tempted to spend it. And thankfully I did, because it didn't get charged until December. And so that's why you see that huge balance on my credit card. And I had to send my first paycheck from January 3rd to the credit card. I did not get paid 2,423. I had to pull from my savings, which is fine because I had, again, already allocated money towards that. Then for giving, I have $8. Giving really is just like, I go to church. I'm trying to figure out what the right amount to give is. Before I didn't really have room in my budget. Like I was, trying to pay off debt really bad. And it felt like I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I didn't have any emergency fund, like nothing saved. And so it was just really like I didn't think that there was room for it. And then growing up, my mom would give like me and my siblings $1 each to add to the contribution basket that goes around. And so again, I'm trying to figure out like so I did budget out doing $20 each month, which I think is just like $5 each Sunday, for the 4 weeks. But we'll play around with it and see what it is. Far, I've given $4 on the Sundays. I think we'll play around with that one. If you give, drop it in the comments. I want to know. I don't know I need to ask. I need to ask the other folks that I know that go to church and ask them. But maybe it is a little too, I don't know. People get weird when you ask them about finances. So moving on, fees. I did get charged my first fee in January, which was $608, and I knew that was coming. Again, this would be one that you add to your one-time costs throughout the year. I knew it was coming. It still felt sad to have to pay the termite cost for the credit card and the fee. It really I was like, I don't even see none of my paycheck, the very first one. And it's supposed to be a 3-month paycheck. I'm glad it's a 3-month paycheck because I'm still able to save and meet those payments that I had and meet my needs for the new month. So I'm happy, but the fee was charged. So these are more of those fixed expenses for me on the left side. And then on the right side are more of those variable expenses. And so I have refilled on gas, and that was $41. I have been spending on food, and that was $167, $68. And then I did purchase some tools for my garden. We've been like looking at purchasing like a saw and other things because we're trying to build a like fence door for the dogs so that they're secure, but tools cost a lot of money. And I was walking the dog, I was babysitting, and they were having an estate sale, and I go check it out, and I'm talking to the person, and they're all like, yeah, I just inherited this house, and we're kind of getting rid of everything so that we can start from scratch and really give the place a makeover. And I got like a saw machine, the big like saw thing. I got two sanders, like one smaller sander for like smaller projects, and then a bigger sander for like if you're doing like a fence. And then I got a paint like sprayer thing, right? So that way you just pour your paint into there, and then you can just like spray instead of having to roll or use the little brush, which I think we needed one because the back of our house is still not finished painted because we couldn't reach some crevices. And so the paint like sprayer would just like perfect. And then I think we got like a hedge trimmer. We don't have a hedge. So that one I was kind of like, but it was already like take all of them for $70. And then I was like, yes, thank you. And I think he threw in like little bits for like to make a hole, all those things. And I do have a drill, so I could easily use those. Anyways, I thought it was the greatest deal ever, and I took them. I ended up spending $83 in the garden slash home stuff. I did get a haircut. You can't really tell. It's not that much of a difference. I just kind of got the dead ends removed. Holiday expenses. So holiday is really just like any holiday related expenses. So I can track how much I'm generally spending on holidays. I don't think of it as a category of where I spend, but it is a category. And so we already had a holiday, and that was Dia de las Roscas. So I spent, I think, $25 on the rosca, and then the rest was just kind of on getting like the items to make hot chocolate. And so we spent $33 on that. And work related, normally they give you a card. I went to go to the expense, and it like was short the $869, and so I just paid with my card and submitted the receipt. And then tech, I do have a printer subscription. I keep trying to cancel it, but then it doesn't let me print, and I have to go and buy new paper and new like ink or something. And so I'm like, that's crazy. So I'm just gonna keep it, whatever. And then I have my Apple subscription for 99 cents to get a little bit more storage, because I do like to take pictures and videos. And that is our expenses so far in January. We have made $4,882 with 71 cents worth of expenses this month so far. Crazy, but it's okay. It's all been budgeted for. It was all expenses. Well, most of the big ones were all expenses that I knew were coming. And I gotta say, for my variable expenses, like if you were here in the beginning, you know that this is pretty good. Even the last 3 months, like food, I was at 200, 300, 400. I'm glad that we're, 3 weeks in, and I'm still under 200 for those. Moving on to upcoming expenses, we do still have about 2 more weeks worth of expenses because January is not over. And so I did make sure to allow myself to have at least $380 left for me to meet these expenses. So I am going to be doing laundry. When? I don't know. Maybe it can last until next month, but in case it can't, usually laundry is $20. And then I am hosting a kickball tournament tomorrow, and I budgeted $200 towards it. I'm hoping that I don't spend the full $200, but if you don't know kickball, you need at least 16 players to play. And if it's up to 20, people playing. So I did invite folks. Only 11 people have confirmed, which I'm a little stressed about because I'm like, can we play kickball or not? But I don't have a kickball and I don't have the bases. So we did order that. That was like $53 or something. And then I am gonna go buy food. We're gonna take the grill to the park. And I'm trying to make, I was deciding between burgers and hot dogs, and my sister said burgers. So I'm trying to get like some burgers, a packet of the veggie burgers too, and then like the things that go with the burgers. I checked the gas tank thing and it's not like full, but it's also not close to being empty. It's like I think halfway. And so I think it should be fine. I do have 2 foldable tables. I'm gonna make a list for people, just kind of like, hey, these are recommended things for you to bring. We did make it potluck style, but only 2 people replied that they're bringing something. And so I just want to make sure people have food and drinks and, are thirsty. And yeah, just kind of wanted to host something. But I didn't want to host it in my home. And I was like, what would we do growing up? We would go to the park for birthday parties and other things. And kickball is such a fun game that we used to play in elementary school. If you don't have the items, it does cost money. And then gas, I do foresee me refilling on gas at some point. And so I put $60 in there. And then food, I budgeted $100. This is really like eating out. And then it is my brother and my mom's birthdays, but my mom's in Mexico and my brother's trying to buy her a phone, like a new phone. And I am not trying to spend new phone money on birthday presents. And then I don't know what to get my brother either. He has been wanting socks and slippers because the dogs ate his socks and his slippers. My mom, I don't know what she wants. I got her a gift card for Christmas because I didn't know what. But yeah, I don't know exactly how much I'm going to be spending on that for them. Maybe we just go out to eat. I did look through my calendar to see if there was anything else coming up. So tonight I'm just going to a faith night at church. Tomorrow is my kickball game. On Sunday, I have a hike with friends that I haven't seen in a bit. And usually you don't spend for a hike. And if we do go to eat like brunch afterwards, I do have $100 for food. Then the week is usually just work stuff and like club meetings, so you don't really spend on those. Next Saturday, I'm going dancing, but that is a free dance class. We're gonna go dancing and learn how to dance. And then Sunday, I don't have anything planned, but it's probably just gonna be like go to church, hang out, type of vibes. And then that next week is work again. And then I get paid on Friday. I think 380 should be fine. It'll probably go up a little bit depending on what the present is. Yeah, but I don't have iPhone money to be spending on gifts. And that brings us down to almost $0 for our paycheck. I do have some loan money, some debt left. Not just some, a good amount. I'm also trying to figure out investing and what that looks like. And I really wasn't paying attention to investing at all because, again, I felt like I was just focused on paying off the immediate debt and like moving away from paycheck to paycheck this past year. And now that we're starting new and we did, open up some cash flow, what is investing? What is it? I want to learn about it. I want to start on it and just, stack up those coins. We'll start with our debt. When I first realized where I was, this was in February of 2022. February 2022, I signed papers to go ahead and go into a mortgage. June of 2022, I signed on to a $21,000 loan for a car. In like April 2022, we started with like home renovations and like all of that, just kind of like making things. We had already been doing that, right, since from February to April, but I had opened like Home Depot credit cards and all of these other things And so then it just kept piling. And so before I knew it, I was in $606,000 worth of debt to my name. I was stressing really more on the like car loan, because the car loan I felt the ticking interest going. And yes, the mortgage was a big one, but it was kind of like a mortgage is a little bit more okay for you to have because you're getting like a appreciating value for it, like real estate. But a car, it's a depreciating asset, right? So I won't be able to sell my car for $21,000 if I wanted to sell it in the future. I mean, it's all banked up now, so there's no way I'm selling it for that. But as of January 2025, I am down to $504,000 worth of debt. Closer to $505,000 worth of debt. But I feel like we've been doing really, really good. I did pay off any personal debt, which is my car loans, my credit cards, like any of that. And this amount is just what is left for the mortgage. If you have any mortgage paying tips, let me know. Like I said, we are going to be doing 3 extra payments. Investing. So I did take a look at some papers that I've been getting. I usually see that it's from that place and I put them away. I don't even open them. So I went and opened the most recent one I could find. And it was from a couple months ago, but it said that I have 2,951 in a Roth IRA. And then retirement, I just started with a new job, and that has the retirement 403B, and I have $1,000 in there. Not bad for barely paying attention to it now, but also not good for what a 27-year-old is, I guess, supposed to have. I was looking at the like how much should a 27-year-old have in a Roth IRA, and I think it was like between 30, I think 36 was the median, and I do not have $36,000 in a Roth IRA. So this is what we'll be tackling this year, just kind of like learning more about it. So if you have anything to share, let me know. I have started looking up YouTubers and seeing what I could watch. It is not as fun. I feel like I'll enjoy it once I start tinkering and playing with things. And then just kind of like doing the research first. That is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy New Year. I hope your paycheck has been budgeted out and you're focusing on finances. It is never too late. Again, that quote that I'm following for this month is, the best time to have start was like 20 years ago, but the second best time is now. Again, that was, I think, in reference to planting a tree, but this could be your money tree. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you at the next paycheck.